Language Learning Series. Understand English instantly.
All right, let's talk about how you can understand spoken English almost instantly without having to translate every single word in your head. It's a huge goal for a lot of learners, right? Well, today we're going to walk through a method that can actually get you there, no matter what your level is right now.
Sound familiar? You hear someone speaking English and bam, your brain immediately starts trying to translate it. That little delay, that pause, it means you're always playing catch-up in a conversation. It's probably one of the biggest roadblocks to feeling truly fluent, but it's one we can absolutely break down.
But what if you could just skip that whole translation step? What if you could forge a direct connection between the English sounds you hear and what they actually mean? Well, we're about to dive into a powerful three-part method designed to do exactly that.
So, how in the world does this work? The entire method is built on one simple foundational idea. It's all about rewiring your brain to connect sounds not to other words, but directly to pictures in your mind. This is called direct listening. And it's not some new language learning trick. It's about tapping into something your brain already knows how to do naturally. I mean, think about your first language. When you hear a word, you don't translate it, right? An image or a feeling or a concept just pops into your head. That's exactly what we're aiming for with English. Let's actually try this right now. If you can, just close your eyes for a second. First, I want you to picture an apple. See its color, its shape. Now, hear the word apple. Got it? Okay, let's build on that. Now see a little boy eating that apple. And hear the phrase, a little boy is eating an apple. And for the last step, let's put them somewhere. Picture them by a river. See the whole scene and hear the full sentence. A little boy is standing by the river eating an apple. You feel that? That direct link you just made between the sound and the image? That's the whole engine behind this method.
Okay, so you get the concept. Now let's get practical. The very first step of the method, before you do anything else, is choosing your practice material. And trust me, this step is way more important than most people think.
There are a few key rules here. First, always use authentic stuff that's made for native speakers, not simplified content for learners. But second, and this is the absolute game changer, it has to be based on your personal interests. If you love video games, listen to gamers. If you're a baker, watch baking shows. Pick one specific topic you love and decide to master it. It makes the whole process so much easier and more effective.
And this really gets to the heart of it. You gotta stop searching for the quote-unquote best material that everyone recommends. The only best material is the stuff that fits your needs and that you're actually excited to understand. Because if you're not interested, your brain just isn't gonna play along.
All right, now we get to the real core of the method. You've picked your material, so what do you actually do with it? This is the step-by-step listening loop you'll use to build those direct, automatic connections in your brain.
What's so cool is that this is backed by some pretty simple science. It boils down to a principle called Hebb's Law, which basically says neurons that fire together wire together. In simple terms, every single time you hear an English sound while you're picturing its meaning, you're physically making the connection between those two things in your brain a little bit stronger, a little bit faster.
So how do we make that mental image powerful enough to really stick? We make it rich. A rich image isn't just a flat picture. It has layers. It has the backstory, the emotions you feel when you see it, any cultural stuff like idioms, and maybe most importantly, how it links to your own memories and experiences.
This brings us to the three-step loop you're going to use for every sentence. First, understand. Use whatever you need, subtitles, a dictionary, anything to get the meaning and build that rich mental image. Second, listen clearly. Now forget the meaning and just focus on the sound. Listen over and over, slow it down if you have to, until you can really hear every little sound. And finally, step 3, connect. Listen one more time, and as you hear the words, pull up that mental image. That's the step that builds the bridge.
Now, you might be thinking, whoa, that sounds like a lot of work for just one sentence. And you know what? You're right. At first, it is. But here's the crucial part. The method adapts as you get better. A beginner might spend a lot of time on a single sentence, checking every word, listening at a slower speed. But an advanced learner, they might just look up one new word and listen a few times at normal speed. It gets faster and faster as you improve.
So you did your practice session. You're feeling good. But then, the next day rolls around. This last part is all about handling the mental game of learning, which, honestly, is where most people get tripped up.
Does this feeling hit a little too close to home? You spend an hour and really feel like you've mastered a few sentences, but the next day it feels like it's all just gone. You feel slow, you get frustrated, and you start to think the whole thing isn't working. I promise you, this feeling is totally normal. And this brings us to maybe the most radical, but also the most powerful piece of advice in this entire system. Forgetting is a normal part of learning, and the solution isn't to go back and review everything. Don't fall into the trap of trying to perfect old stuff. Just trust the process and keep moving forward to the next new sentence.
The key to staying motivated is to completely change how you define progress. Instead of some huge goal like finish the episode, you need to focus on small, concrete, factual wins. Did you focus for 5 minutes without getting distracted? That's a win. Did you fully, deeply understand 2 new sentences today? That's a huge win. Acknowledging these little actions is what gives your brain the dopamine hit it needs to keep going.
So let's pull all of this together. We've talked about the core idea, the nitty-gritty practice loop, and the mindset you need to have. This is your roadmap. This is your path to truly fluent listening.
It all really boils down to these 3 key ideas. First, limit your focus to material that is actually relevant to your life. Second, practice that understand, listen, connect loop on every single sentence. And third, reframe how you see progress. Focus on those small wins and trust that forgetting is just part of the journey.
And that's pretty much the whole shebang. The theory part is over, and the only thing left to do is to actually do it. So I'll just leave you with this one question to get you started. Thinking about your own goals and your own interests, what is the one specific topic you're going to choose to master first?